Chapter 16. Georgie didn't want to tell his parents about his part in the play right away. In fact, he didn't want to tell them ever. He didn't think they needed to be there to witness their son die of embarrassment. But the next Friday afternoon, a letter came in the mail about practice and the need to rehearse lines, and just as Georgie had feared, his parents were thrilled. "I think this could be good for you, Georgie," his mom told him. "Why did everyone keep saying that? Abe Lincoln was an excellent president," his dad added, "one of the finest." Georgie wanted to mention to them that just in case they were wondering, Abe Lincoln had also been 6'4", not 42 inches. But Georgie didn't say one word about it because he knew that the second he did, his mom and dad would tell him something stupid and parenty. Like it didn't matter what he looked like as long as he portrayed the spirit of a president and kept a positive attitude. Well, that was garbage, and Georgie knew it. The truth was, no matter how positive his attitude, once he stepped onto that stage in the gym and announced, "Hello, my name is Abraham Lincoln," everybody was going to laugh. Everyone, even the adults would laugh. A dwarf playing Abraham Lincoln, they were going to explode with laughter. At least Georgie could take his mind off of things for a little while that weekend. His mom had signed him up for swimming lessons at the public pool a few weeks before, and Saturday was his first day. Georgie was actually sort of excited about the lesson. He was already a pretty good swimmer, and maybe if he took lessons, he could be a really good swimming. Swimming wasn't hard for on his back like running was. When he used to race Andy in the laps across the pool, sometimes Georgie even won. He knew he'd never be in the Olympics or anything, but he figured it would be nice to have a sport that he was good at. And today it was warm out, really warm, for the first time in ages. It was like the sun had been tricked into thinking it was already spring. It was a perfect day for the pool, Georgie thought. He only hoped that everybody in the world wouldn't be there. When they arrived, though, Georgie was relieved to see that one of the two indoor pools had been marked off for just lessons. Everybody else was splashing around the free swim pool, and they looked like they were having so much fun to pay attention to the swim lesson kids. Georgie went into the bathroom and changed into his baggy red swim trunks. When he came back out, he stopped for a moment to look at his mom, who was sitting in a folding chair by the side of the pool. Her stomach had been getting big lately. Last night, when she was practicing for a concert, Georgie had noticed that she had to shift around in her chair a bit before she found a comfortable spot between her belly and the harp. She flipped a page in her magazine as Georgie sat his clothes on the table beside her. "You all ready?" she asked. "Yep." Georgie met his swimming teacher, whose name was Kimberly, and hopped into the pool to start his lesson. Right away, Georgie was glad that he had his own private teacher. The kids in the kindergarten swim class couldn't stop staring at him. So Kimberly led him to the other side of the pool to practice in peace. He was getting the hang of things pretty quickly. Kimberly said he had great kicks, and even though he had some trouble floating because he couldn't stretch his arms out very far, he knew that he was doing well all around. 5 minutes before Georgie's lesson was over, as he was coming up for air after a lap across the pool, he caught sight of a flash of bright red hair. Allison Hussman! She was stepping out of the bathroom with one of her friends. A towel stamped with colorful green frogs on lily pads was draped over her shoulders. Georgie's ears cleared up just in time to hear her laugh. The sound echoed off the walls, and he watched as her sandals flip-flopped to the edge of the free swim pool. "Georgie," Kimberly was calling him. He turned, "Huh? That was great. Didn't you think so?" He tried to shake Allison and her frog towel off out of his head. Yeah, he said. "Okay, I'd like you to do 5 more laps, exactly like that one, and then we can call it a day. Remember to stretch your arms." Georgie did his laps, but he wasn't concentrating. Every time his arms sliced through the water, it slapped onto the surface of the pool with an Allison. And the splash of his kick sounded suspiciously like Hussman. Georgie was sure everybody would hear it echoing through the whole room. He tried to make his kicks softer, but Kimberly hollered at him that he was losing his form. When Georgie finished his laps, Kimberly congratulated him on a fine first lesson and told his mom that he was an excellent swimmer. Georgie's mom beamed as Kimberly laughed. "Awesome job, G," she told him. She bent over the side of the pool where Georgie was hanging out. "Do you like your teacher?" "Yeah, she's cool," Georgie answered. "Hey, Mom, can we stay for a while? I want to go swimming some more in the free swim pool. Oh, Georgie, I have to go. I'm sorry, hon. I have a piano lesson. Georgie watched as drips of water fell from his arm onto the tile. But I really want to stay, Mom, he said. He was doing his best to look pitiful. I haven't even gotten to swim for fun yet. That's true, but I could walk home. I don't know, G. Mom, it's only 12 blocks. I've walked home tons of times without you. She looked up, trying to decide. Never by yourself, though. You were always with Andy or somebody. I'll be fine, Mom. She took a deep breath in and then finally let it out. All right, but only for an hour, okay? Come straight home afterward and don't talk to strangers and don't, Mom, all right, all right. She kissed the top of his head. I'll see you at home. Bye, Mom. As soon as his mother left, Georgie climbed up the metal ladder and padded his way to the other pool as his swimming trunks dripping a trail of water behind him. He found Allison and her friend stretched out on two plastic lawn chairs. They were reading a magazine together and giggling. Allison saw Georgie and waved to him. Hey, Georgie, she called. He came closer, trying to look cool, but he knew he just looked like himself. Hi, he said. Allison smiled, and Georgie noticed he had absolutely perfect teeth. This is Nikki, she told him, pointing to her friend. Hi, he mumbled, but he didn't really look at her. Nikki sat up. Hey, you're that kid, she said. Huh? Georgie asked. Allison poked Nikki on the side with her elbow. Georgie's mom's my piano teacher, she told her friend. Oh, Nikki said. She nodded. Well, that's nice. Her voice was high, too high, like she was talking to a 4-year-old. Georgie looked down at the ground and shuffled his feet. Then he looked back at Allison, who gave him a friendly smile but didn't say anything. Nikki only stared at him. Georgie scratched his head just to have something to do and looked back down at his feet. His trunks were still dripping wet. The puddle that surrounded him was inching his way toward Allison's frog towel, neatly folded on the ground beside her chair. If he stood there any longer, her towel would be soaked, and then she'd hate him. He had to get out of there. Georgie said, rubbing his elbow. I'm going to go swim now. Oh, okay, Allison said with a smile. Have fun. Georgie plumped off to the pool step. As he walked away, he heard Nikki whisper, I didn't know you knew that kid. Georgie slid into the pool and let the warm water envelope him. He ducked his head underwater and stayed down as long as he possibly could with his eyes squeezed shut and his cheeks puffed out. When he finally came up for air, he kept his eyes closed so all the water could drip off before he opened them. And he was standing like that up to his chin in the shallow end of the pool with his eyes still closed when he heard the twing of the diving board and a splash as somebody hit the water. When he opened his eyes, Georgie found Jeannie the Meanie barreling toward him at full force. You know, George Washington, Jeannie snickered when she reached his end of the pool. There's no way that redhead girl is ever going to fall in love with you.